Hello and welcome everyone back to my final Motogp 22 preview. Now it's come to the end of my beta on Motogp 22, so I just want to give my final thoughts on what I've played. I've played about 6 hours of the game, and I'm just going to start off with a bit of housekeeping. When will the game be out? The full release game will be out on the 22nd of April. It'll be on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox One X, all the Xboxes up to the Series X, Nintendo Switch and Steam for the PC boys like myself. Now, there's a lot has changed in it. Now, a lot of people have complained the game looks identical. I can confirm straight away it's not. Physics are very different in some aspects. Some aspects are very the same. They haven't really changed massively. What's changed mostly, front brake. Front brake is completely redone. The suspension tires somewhat just because the bike reacts better with curves, and the curbing sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Still needs to be refined a touch. But back to the front brake. Now, braking with the front brake while having the bike stood up causes horrific understeer. To be honest, in my opinion, it's slightly too much. It's slightly on the extreme side. But again, this game will be patched before full release, and they'll have patches throughout the life cycle, so it might get refined slightly. I would just like to see them bring it down just a fraction. Now, I do believe it's a more positive step, it's a bit more realistic, but I just think they've just gone slightly too far with it. And again, this is a beta, these are what these are for. They're to iron out the game before the release, so hopefully we shall see a bit more refinement when the actual game comes out, which is 2 weeks exactly from today. Now, while we're on the topic of physics, I just want to talk briefly about the ride height device. You'll see, obviously, on the screen now, I have Casey Stoner on the 9 season. I'll cover that in a bit. But of course, the 2009 bikes did not have the ride height devices. These are more recent little tech feature of the GP class. But currently in the build I have, it doesn't actually affect the physics. It only is a graphical thing of the bike lowering. Now, I will say in the race starts, it does work as it should. The bikes get off brilliantly, no wheelie, and they just fly off. Much easier to race, to do the race arts, but also it's just taking away the skill. It feels like it's kind of just, you just release the clutch, you go. It's kind of nearly timing the clutch now. There's no actual skill to it, which is a small bit of a shame. But the fact that the bike doesn't seem to get affected at all physics-wise when you lower the rear of the bike coming out of the corner. Now, I do want them to tweak that slightly. I want it to have a bit of an effect on the drive out of the corner. Compared to the AI, I don't gain anything, I don't lose anything. Compared to not using it, it's merely a graphical thing of the bike lowering at the rear. Now, it does look good, and there's a few features, like if you're leaned over too far, it won't optimize and all that kind of thing. So it is working good, but I just want them to actually have more of an effect on the exit of the bike. Maybe what I'd like them to see happen would be the bike could be a little more harder to ride out of the corner with it off, more than have it on, have it more prominent when it's on. If the bike was harder to ride with it off, it would become more of a clutch feature, and that could be like, that's what's in real life. It's a safety feature in real life. A lot of riders say it's safer because the rear wheel is more loaded, which means less chance of high side and crashing and stuff. But we're going to just jump now to the AI, and we're going to start with the whole shot device with them and the ride height device. They use that to start. Now, I've yet to see any of them actually use it in the race. I've never seen anyone lower the bike during the race. But I must say, they are absolutely incredible out of the corner. Like, they're unmatched on 120% AI. Even I dropped it, I had a few people asking me what the lower AI was like, so I dropped it to 75%, I believe. And it did still feel quite quick. They lost, I think the lap times were about 8/10 slower. So overall, they are pretty rapid, I must say. But back to the corner exit, they just seem to be absolutely determined to get out of the corner faster. You know, it might be my riding was poor and that I wasn't utilising the bike properly on corner exit and they were just doing a better job, but it feels like they just seem to have so much more traction and drive compared to me. Even when I felt I was doing a good job riding, I still couldn't I couldn't match them out of the corner, or yet again, I couldn't get out of the corner faster than them. Also, corner entry, they brake earlier than me, much earlier than me. They seem to come into the corner quite quickly, brake a bit earlier than I would, release the brake, and they carry a shit ton of corner speed in. I cannot match them on corner speed. It feels like they can turn the bike more than I can, which has been an issue in previous iterations of the MotoGP game. So again, I'm hoping that is tweaked slightly, because it feels like they can just absolutely fly into the corner and have no negative effects of the physics pushing them wide like I do. If you actually saw my Moto 3 preview that I uploaded yesterday, you'll see a lot of Moto 3 riders can take so much corner speed where I'm actually struggling to stay on track over it just to match them. So again, small tweaks need to be there. They've seemed to fix the issue with the with them being slow on the straight on the lower difficulties. I lowered it to 75% as I said, and they were still just as quick in the straight line as they were at 120%. So the scaling is improved. It's obviously in the right areas. You don't want just slow riders in a straight line. So again, much better overall, and that is a step forward. Now I'm going to move on to the 2009 season, as you're watching on screen. Now there's a lovely prologue about 3 or 4 minutes long of 2001 up to 2009. It paints a beautiful picture of what's going on in 2008 November December time as you come to pre-season and you come to the first race in March. Now I must say I played a couple of races and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a bit surprised how much I enjoyed it, because I thought it would be like a couple of years back where you have a very basic feature where you just try and recreate an event, but like you clear off into the distance. Again, with the improved AI, it becomes much more of a challenge. You see here me riding as Casey. Primary goal is to win by, or just to win the race, and my secondary goal is to win by 5 seconds. And I had a hard time, and this is on 85%. I just lowered it just to see again what the AI are like in these challenge videos, and they're still really quick. So at 120% AI, you'll want to be absolutely rapid to be able to come close to them. I consider myself a decent Motogp player, and the 120% AI are spanking me at the moment. So again, the 2009 season, they have the full season of bikes, the full tracks, the full calendar, and there's an episode for each round of the championship that year. So I think 17 in total, if I am correct. Now overall, it's a step forward. The game is better graphically. Personally, I don't see much change. If anything, I see a lot of issues, like especially around Qatar. I don't know if it'll come up on YouTube. The way YouTube process videos can be a bit funky, but if you stare at the floodlights, they're very square, pixelated and flickery. Now of course, preview build, this could be an issue they know about. Again, hopefully that'll be fixed for Qatar, and that will have a nice race, because it does look good under the lights. But especially when the lights are lower in the distance, you can just see them kind of flickering, and it does put your eye line off ever so slightly. Now, overall, what do I think of the game? I'm happy with what the changes they've done. They've improved the rear grip. That was a big thing for people last year. Rear grip was loose. It was an issue from 2019 into 2020. They kind of fixed it. They kind of rebroke in 21. I can confirm 2022 rear grip is not an issue. Now it's not. They've done it in a really nice way. They could have just made it absolutely laser grip and you could just glue everywhere and no worries about it, but they've actually made it so that you do better grip, but doesn't equal lap time. It doesn't propel you forward more, it just doesn't come out of line as much. So I am pleased they fixed that. So again, small changes it's implemented into the game that just increase the overall game, make it slightly more enjoyable. But as we're coming out to the end of this video, just want to say a few things again about it. Once, of course, thank you massively to Milestone for giving me an early build of Motogp 22. Just huge thanks to them for letting me play it early and show off all my opinions on the games to yourselves. A big thank you to all of you for the support on the videos. I've seen sky high numbers on my last few videos on the preview builds, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support. It's great to see. And of course, the game will be out in another few weeks, and I will be doing a lot of content on this game. So just want to say thank you again to all of you, and I shall see you in a video in the not so distant future. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.